Hello and welcome. Today we've got Michael Jaco, former CIA and Navy SEAL. And today we are going to be discussing about Mike Gill, who recently said that Trump will be stepping down. What does that mean? Is this a lie? Is it a distraction? Is it for the good? Is it for the bad? Are we going to see good players turn out to be bad or vice versa? I don't know. But we're going to speculate in this interview. And now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Instagram channel at nicholas.veniamin, where you can follow all my newsreels. Michael, thank you so much for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Doing really good, Nicholas. Well, I've been all over the place. I was down in Mexico for a little while, and now back up here in the States, getting ready for Christmas, like you, back home. So, looking forward to Merry Christmas to everyone out there.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and Michael, to you too and to your family.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's begin. I mean, first of all, let's begin with this. Who is Mike Gill really? Where did he surface from in the beginning?
So Mike Gill is from New Hampshire. He was basically a wealthy man at one time. Went into the ministry and decided to go into business. So he had a very, very successful business, very, very wealthy man. And then he started to see things in New Hampshire, which, was very troubling to him as far as child trafficking and drug trafficking and so forth. So he started to call it out, because when you're a wealthy businessman, you start to see all the people that have the money and what they're doing with the money and their connections and so forth. So he had very deep insight into all that, and it still does. So he basically started to call it out. He started to call out politicians, and he discovered that New Hampshire is basically the base for the American cartel. So the American cartel, money laundering, human trafficking, drug trafficking, weapons trafficking, and so forth. New Hampshire produces more weapons than any other state in the United States. And he says that there's more drug trafficking, and they actually produce their own fentanyl there in New Hampshire now. So he's exposing all that, exposing the politicians that did that, and they came after him, destroyed his life. So he's been in hiding most of the time over the last several years, but it's starting to come back and expose a lot of stuff. So he exposed back in January 6th that Trump was going to get taken down. He gave information to Mike Flynn so that he could give to Trump. And from what he's saying, that Mike Flynn kept that to himself. And we kind of discussed that a little bit today on our show. But yeah, it seems like there's some problems with Mike Flynn, probably being a little puppet of the deep state. I've seen that as well. So more and more people are coming out with that. Now, being on the Trump team, is Trump knowing that he is a deep state asset? Are they using him? So there's all these different questions that we talked about earlier, and that everyone should be asking themselves right now. And why do we continue to play these games? Why don't we just go out and expose all the people that we know are corrupt and evil throughout all of our governments, throughout all of our corporations, on and on and on? Why do we continue to play these games? All right. So is it so that, being in the CIA, I can tell you that, there was a lot of times that we had double, triple agents, and, they went in and, told their side a certain story that we were telling them to tell them. And then they come back and tell us what they were saying about the information they were getting. So there's all this different stuff. It's like, why do that? We're at the point now where we need to stop this. And that's what a lot of us are saying. And that's what Mike Gill is saying. He is saying that Trump has all the information of all of these players. The Pandora Papers basically is a worldwide network of illegal, illicit activity and all the people that are involved in it. Political families and so forth all around the world. Corporations, music industry, Hollywood, you name it, it's all in the Pandora Papers. And there's been, a lot of journalists that have put this together, and it's there. Why isn't it being revealed? It's being kept secret. So a lot of people have these secrets. And he's saying that, the military has these secrets. Mike Flynn had these secrets. President Trump has these secrets. So why isn't President Trump revealing them? So Mike Gill is saying that President Trump he's going to step down. He's not going to reveal because he's going to make a deal. And he's saying in a couple of weeks. So I guess we'll see in a couple of weeks if this actually works out this way. Go ahead.
So first of all, before we get into the deal and we get into what Mike Gill says, first of all, what was the information that he gave to Flynn that Flynn kept to himself? Because I did come across this information a while back. So what was that information?
So that is the Pandora Papers. It's basically the people that are involved, the groups that are involved. I mean, we can look at the military. I mean, not all the military is great. So we want to say that the military is going to come and save us, and President Trump is going to ride in on a horse with a military. I can tell you the military is corrupt. The CIA is corrupt. So you have all these corrupt organizations. You cannot depend on a certain organization. Now, if someone has, the good guys in their back pocket and they come in and take over the bad guys, yes, but why is that not being done? So the Pandora Papers is basically exposing all of that, even in the military. We go all the way back to John F. Kennedy assassination, military involvement, CIA involvement, FBI involvement, political families, political crime families, all involvement. So a lot of the politicians and presidents that we had after Kennedy was assassinated knew that he was going to be assassinated and were in on it. So crime families, mafia, it's all over the place and deep. I mean, these people have a lot of control. If someone gets in their way or someone exposes too much, like John F. Kennedy was doing, they will kill them. So that is an issue. I've had my life threatened many times. Mike Gill has been threatened many times. So if you have people like that exposing themselves and they're going to get taken out, Mike Gill is saying that's that's going to happen to Trump. That he's basically in a position where if he reveals, he's going to get taken out, and he just wants to go on. According to Mike Gill, he just wants to go on and lead his life, and he's built this wealthy empire, and he doesn't want to lose it all. So that's why he's saying that Trump is not going to do it. So it's I know we're all like, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. But it is a interesting talking point, and maybe it gets people motivated and starts to move this a little faster.
All right, and understanding Trump as a businessman, first of all, I don't think Trump would have any of his assets at risk. He would have put it all in a irrevocable trust, I think, in my opinion, where it's just controlled by his family. So where the government cannot touch because it's not even in his name. So that's what I think. So I think he would have all that covered. Now, you mentioned about him stepping down. Could that be a good thing? Could that be a distraction? He's 77 years old. That's the other thing. If I was 77 years old and I've got grandchildren and I've built a really big empire like he has, and I'm 77 years old, I would rather sacrifice my last few years to save humanity. So if I was, I'm 33 now, maybe, what do you think?
Yeah, they can definitely destroy everything you have. They did that to me. They did that to Mike Flynn, or not Mike Flynn, but Mike Gill. So it is something they will do. And right now they're seizing or putting the Trump empire on notice through all the court action and so forth. So it is in motion to basically destroy his wealth and his empire. So he either is going to go full in, like many of us have. It's like there's no turning back for me. They have come after me and tried to kill me many times. They destroyed my life completely, discredited me, and probably are discrediting me as we speak. So that is where I'm at now. Is Trump going to go down that road too? Potentially losing everything. So a lot of people are saying that, Of course he will. I don't know. So we'll see. I hope so, because really, if at this point, what I believe is if we don't go full speed ahead and expose everything right now, stop playing games, stop kicking this can down the road like we have for the last several years, this thing is going to get beyond our control. And then we all are going to suffer. The little piece of, prosperity that I was able to bring back to myself again is going to get disappeared, and I probably get disappeared. So that is what that's what we're up against. So we can't wait around for this anymore.
So does that mean that, I mean, he's doing really well in the polls. He's leading. Does that mean that he won't be leading anymore? Does that mean he's going to stop rallying? Does that mean he's going to announce that he's going to be stepping down soon and he's just going to stop rallying? How do you see this rolling out?
Yeah, if you make a deal, then basically you step aside, you stop running for president, and then they stop coming after you. That's probably the deal that they're working, and that's what Mike Gill says. So we'll see if that's the case. I hope it's not. I hope that Trump really does go all in, but I believe he needs to do it sooner rather than later. So I've trusted for a long time that he had the best interest of everyone in mind. But at this point, having been in that organization, having been in the military, having been in the CIA, I can tell you we're at that point where there is you have to like just go all in. You have to full speed ahead and do this. Otherwise, everyone's going to suffer. So in a couple of weeks, if he does step down, if he does, stop running for office and say, I'm going to withdraw myself, and I'm going to put like Mike Gill says, put everything behind General Flynn. So General Flynn then, with maybe, I don't know, the Kennedy, they run together. Now, a lot of people are like, there's no way that, everyone's going to vote for a Flynn and Kennedy ticket, or a Kennedy and Flynn ticket, whichever it works out to be. But I will have you look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden was not elected either, but Joe Biden is our president. So they will put in there who they want. They will take out who they want, which they did with JFK. And they have been putting people in power for a very long time. And taking people out of power, or almost taking people out of power, like they did with Reagan, almost assassinating him. And then, the Bush Senior was basically running the show. And then Bush Senior basically had three basically presidencies. So that's kind of like, what we're seeing right now with Biden. Obama is basically running again. Obama said, if I could have someone that could run, I could be behind the scenes running the show, which kind of what we're seeing with Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is not really there anymore, maybe literally and not just figuratively. So that's what we're seeing right now.
So if the deep state has enough power to put Trump in a position where they need to make a deal with him, or where he needs to make a deal with them, why, if they've got this much power, why haven't they used their power to remove Trump a long time ago? Why have they left it this far?
Well, they did remove Trump. They removed Trump in the last election. So that was the indicator that he could have gone full in. And there's a lot of people saying that, it would have been a civil war, which that's a good point. But at some point, you either are going to push forward, or you're going to lose everything. And I think we're at that point. So will Trump win the next election? There cannot be another election. Every election at this point is going to be compromised. The last election, 2022 here, the United States was compromised. So it's obvious that they control the polling, they control the actual polls and everything. So if that's the case, then we either rise up and stop this. We have the information. We know who the bad people are. We can reveal who the bad people are. We have the judicial wherewithal to start to take them down. So it's not going to happen, I think, unless we work together and start to remove them. It's going to have to be we, the people, that do this. We, the people, have been pushed back on and manipulated and controlled to almost to the point where we will never be able to come back again. So we're at that inflection point. So yes, if in a couple of weeks we don't see Trump come out and reveal the Pandora Papers and all the people that are involved, and we start to take them down out in the open, and he does step down, I think we need to rise up right then. So it's all full speed ahead at that point. So revealing this like we are right now could be a very good thing, because we're basically, people are going to get really pissed off, and like, there's no way that Trump's going to like step back.
But
There's no way he's going to step down. And then when he does, that's really going to get people moving.
But I'll tell you something, even if he does step down, it doesn't mean that he's stepped down. It's just another move on the chess game. It doesn't mean anything. It could be another trap. It could be optics. It could be a distraction for people to wake up even more. It could be misinformation from the white hats. I just doesn't resonate with me. With what Mike Gill has said, even though that his intentions are honest. I'm not sure if I resonate with that. But we have to see, because it might not be Trump that reveals the Pandora Papers. It might be somebody else. What do you think about that? It could be Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, it could be. And I mean, it could be a conglomerate of people that are revealing. I think that, a lot of us are starting to reveal a lot of these bad actors. So that is good. But until we get the real, meat, the real, the whole picture that needs to be put out there, I think it's going to continue on. Now, I know other people that are in other jurisdictions, as far as like some cities and so forth, have a lot of information. Nashville, down in Arizona, there's lots of trafficking, that's just coming in through Arizona and going into other cities. So you expose that whole network, and that takes it down. You expose the banks that are involved with it, it takes them down. So we've already seen JP Morgan Chase was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. They did a payoff to the people that were impacted by Jeffrey Epstein's misdeeds. That's all that happened to them. Why are they still in existence?
I wouldn't be surprised if the deep state approached Trump, for an example, to put it in a nutshell, to make it simple, and said, "You've got to do a deal with us." And Trump said, he acted weak and pretends he needs to do a deal. He steps down just to confuse them, just to throw them off. I think Trump is savvy like that. It's just my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. I would say no.
Okay.
Myself, because we basically been kicking this can down the road enough, and trying to play like, okay, we're still in charge. We're going to step back. Trump's not going to be, and we're going to like promote somebody else in the GOP, Nikki Haley or Michael Flynn or whoever's going to be their puppet of choice. But and it's not going to be Trump. Trump's not going to play anymore. So if he takes himself out of the last position of seeming power that he has right now, he no longer has any. So that's now, is he commander in chief? There's a lot of us that believe he is still in the military, a portion of the military, all of the military. I don't think so. There is definitely a deep state military. I can vouch for that. So if that is the case, and he steps back, you're right. There is a potential that this is a misdirection. It's like, oh yeah, you guys win, and then he steps back. But how long do we wait for him to come back and make things right. How long have we been waiting already? Years, right? We keep getting this, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. And we're like, oh, yeah, yay. Oh, yay. Oh, bummer. Oh, yay. Oh, bummer. Oh, so it's gone on way too long. And we were supposed to get an early Christmas present. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Trump said, you're going to get an early Christmas present. You're going to be very happy. Where is it? All right. So we're getting close. So this stringing things along is really starting to, get irritating at this point. It's no longer, okay, we trust you. You're going to do the right thing. Now it's getting to the point where, like, we've trusted you and you have not done the right thing. Now we need to look at another option.
I see. So how do you think the elections are going to look for 2024?
Yeah, there's no way. American people aren't going to put up with that.
Vivek Ramaswamy, what do you think about him?
He's probably, I don't know. Everyone that's at the top, pretty much, to me, seems like a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
He's been saying some really good things. He's been going on the attack, but so did other people. There's been a lot of people that have gone on the attack, and then we exposed them, and then they fell out of like Ron DeSantis, great example. He never came to a Trump rally. Mike Flynn never came to a Trump rally that I went to. So why? And when Mike Flynn promotes, like, fight like a Flynn, there's no Trump anything in his fight. Like, why are we fighting like a Flynn for what?
How about Robert Kennedy? How about Robert Kennedy Jr.? What's your views on him, running independently as well?
Yeah. So how many Kennedys have been killed?
Absolutely. I mean,
a couple, and he doesn't have any Secret Service protection.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's. I like the guy. I like some of the stuff he talks about. There's some things that are very suspect. I wouldn't personally vote for him, but I like some of his, just like I like Ramaswamy. I like a lot of his points. He's really coming out, doing the right thing. So that gets people behind people like, Ron DeSantis. Everybody got behind Ron DeSantis. Then we figured out that this guy's deep state puppet too. Nikki Haley, deep state puppet. So all these people are being exposed almost as fast as they come out and gain our attention. There's been a lot of stuff about Ramaswamy that's come out that's very suspect as well.
So what do you think we should be doing? At the end of the day, this isn't really about Trump or whatever. We know what Trump's like. We've seen him as president. We would like him back because he's good for the country, probably good for the world. But this isn't about, Trump or whatever. This is really about our freedom. Really, It's a spiritual war. We need to get rid of these satanist people. We need to expose the truth. What do you think ultimately we should be doing, we the people?
We should be looking at the intel services around the world, because the Mossad, of course, the CIA, MI6, all these different intel organizations, they never go away. Presidents come and go, but we know at this point that these intelligence services are involved very deeply in running deep state operations. So that's some of the stuff that will have to be looked at, and we'll have to take those organizations down. The corruption, or at least the corruption that's in those organizations. I don't know what goes for. I mean, it really, if the world was awakened and we work together, which is what I think we're moving towards, we will eliminate anyone that is not good for humanity. And we have a lot of organizations, we have a lot of political types that are not good for humanity. And we know who they are. And so we have to stop playing around that someone's going to come and save us and take out this down. I mean, if Trump potentially does come in, how long is he going to last? 4 years? Then what? Will he, in 4 years, if he does come back in, is that going to be enough time to take down all these organizations? We have to be, all of us, humanity, We have to work together and we have to take it down. So maybe this is the impetus that we need. Maybe we're like asking these questions like you and I are, doing a deep dive into, well, what ifs, game playing this like we should have been doing all along, and go, well, we need to work together and take this down. Who do we need to support? Who needs to be part of this group that's going to start to organize us and start to move us forward peacefully, hopefully, mostly going forward. Judicial, because I think there's a great chance that we could peacefully, take a lot of this stuff down to a certain extent. Of course, when law enforcement comes in, makes arrests and so forth, or when military comes in and takes down, terrorists, there can be some violence, obviously, and there is a potential of that going forward. Well, we know there's going to be that going forward. Some of these people are very hardcore, and they have people that will protect them. So it's not going to be pretty. We've talked about this for a long time. It's not going to be pretty going forward when this starts to get taken down. So if we do see a step back from Trump, I think that's going to be a really tough wake up call for everybody. And if he doesn't, is he going to step forward and really start to reveal? Because I hope that he does. I'm praying that he really starts to reveal on a massive level. I think we're starting to demand that now, and that's what you and I are talking about right now. This is go time. Stop playing around. Stop playing games with this. We're done. We're ready to start move on this.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, whatever happens, I don't think we should ever lose hope. We should be positive, because in God, there's always light under the tunnel, and God always wins. That I know. So it's just a matter of time, as far as I'm concerned. But Michael, Jaco, thank you so much for sharing everything with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
No, I think that was beautiful, Nicholas. God, we've been saying this for years now. God always wins, and we put our trust in God, and we are guided to do the right thing. So I think that's where we're going to be in the future.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Michael, and we'll speak again very soon. You take care, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Bye-bye.